All right.
Hello and welcome to USTS, the Ultimate Sports and Training Show. I'll be your host for today's show, Bob Lemire. And I got a special guest today, a colleague of mine from L3 Harris up in Londonderry. We work together. Alex Lewis. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Alex is a man of many sports. Right now, he's into a lot of tennis, amateur tennis player. So we're going to talk tennis, which I've only played tennis once in my life. Of all the sports I've ever played, one day I played. And we'll talk about that later, a little story there. And tell me a little about yourself there, Alex.
Yeah. So grew up from a hockey family and never played hockey myself. My dad tried to get me out there one time, and I cried my eyes out at 3 years old, so that never happened.
That's tough.
Yeah, a little bit of a regret for him. Yeah. But growing up, I was always told, you're either going to work or you're going to play sports. Growing up, that was the rule in the household.
Nice.
So
yeah.
I always played a sport. It was always soccer to start. My first coach was my aunt, who's a gym teacher, she's retired now.
Right.
But yeah, then I did karate because I wanted to get into the martial arts, and
Yeah.
I love that one because it really helped the core strength.
Right.
But then I finally, one day, walking by the lunch tables on a spring day, was called over by one of my buddies, and he said, "Hey, join the tennis team because you don't have a sport to play yet, and you're going to end up working
Just like
instead."
that.
I'm like, why not?
That's an
on a
easy
whim.
game.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
join the team.
Yeah. Cool. And wow, so that's how you started tennis, just I don't know, whim.
Yep.
And I mean, you got to practice before you go out there and play. You know. And so, did he show you who was your mentor for?
Yeah, my buddy Alec. He ended up being my doubles partner later on for our state tournament that we played in our senior year.
Yeah.
But it is one of the hardest sports to pick up ever. The technical skill is unbelievable.
Well, yeah, it's as I was telling you earlier, we both have stories to tell.
Yeah.
I got a funny story. As I say, I played once in my life. I played every sport there is. But I played once in my life and thought I was going to be. This can't be hard. Look at these guys; they're going nowhere. And I played against my brother-in-law. And I'm going to tell you. We'll talk about that a little later. But So when did you start? So sophomore year?
My sophomore year of high school.
And you ended up by senior, which is only 3 years. You ended up in the
state championship tournament. Yeah.
And how'd you guys do?
We did really well. We were unseeded for that one, but we went up against the 8th seed for our first match.
Right.
And we ended up beating those guys in a comeback. We were down like I don't know if you know scoring in tennis, but
none at all. Love. I know whatever love means.
It was for love then. No. Basically they had taken half the games that they needed to win without us getting any, and then we came back and got all of them. All 8 that we needed
in a row.
All 8 in a row. Wow. Maybe 1 or 2. It might have ended 8-5.
Now you're calling this doubles, right? So
this was doubles.
This is doubles.
So my guy Alec that called me over to the table on sophomore year, we ended up being the number 1 and 2 guy at the end of the senior year.
Wow.
So we played in the state tournament.
That is just so cool.
Yeah. It was really surreal.
And how did you end up in the state tournament? What place did you end up coming?
Well, we lost to the 4th seed in the second round, and we were up, and we let it go. But if you had to call it anything, it was the quarterfinals. So it would be anywhere between like 8 and 16, whatever that is.
Wow, that's just so cool for a guy who just
some people. The whole state, it feels good because it's like D1. It's not like it's chump playoffs.
That's because a lot of people start when they're 10. You know what I mean? Because their parents
even
played
4 or 5. Like
right.
Tons of guys that did that.
That's right, and they know where that ball's going. They know where you're going to be. It's unbelievable the knowledge you get. Well, it's like anything else. I mean, if you're competing in martial arts, like karate and stuff, you can do it. If you've done it so long, you know exactly the guy's flaws, and you know your strengths, and you know how to put them in a situation. And that's what I think tennis does. Right. Because it's you guys against them two. And now, can you analyze, like when you're ready to go and you're watching them right before you're going to play them, do you kind of analyze, there's the weekend?
Absolutely.
You go after the weekend.
No. It's not even like finding the weak guy per se.
Right.
So a lot of times it's finding that one shot that they can't make well, or that you make that makes them make unforced errors.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really
That's a
analytical
knowledge.
in that sense.
That's a knowledge. And you want to name your partner's name that you're with now?
Of course.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
give him a shout out.
I am engaged to the beautiful Dr. Brittany Allen,
Brittany,
doctor. She's a pharmacist.
Oh,
yeah. So they call her Dr. Ballin. So fits right in with the sports.
There you go.
Yeah, but she's amazing, and we're gonna get married in September.
Congratulations to you. Nice job. Nice
Thank
job. Good shout out to her. The thing now, does she play tennis?
We've started to play. She
Okay,
hadn't played
that's-
before meeting me. Only a little bit here and
Right.
there.
What a workout too.
Oh my God, yeah. The
What a
cardio
workout.
is unbelievable.
Do you train now? Say you're going to tournaments with your friend now,
Mm-hmm.
or even back in the day. What kind of training do you do beside playing, or is it just playing? I have not a clue.
No, so I mean,
Running.
I've had a lot of personal struggles with medical stuff.
Okay.
I'll just tell him it's like I have a thyroid autoimmune condition.
Okay.
And I've been working slowly to get the right medication in
There you
place
go.
to
Right, yeah,
get
yeah.
recovered. But what the Hashimoto's thyroiditis did
Right.
to my muscles and
Right.
all my joints was it stiffened them up.
Okay.
So every time I make contact with the ball or anything,
Right.
all the vibrations, the tendonitis,
Correct.
whatever, it all like makes it so I can't recover as quickly.
Right.
Like even still now, even
Okay.
though all the medication is getting better,
Yeah.
I'm not able to practice at all during the week in between each match because I'm afraid of getting injured.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I just got to like get back into the groove in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
But now that the medication is getting better, they
Yeah,
said it could
yeah.
be like 6 months
Right.
before I can start training hard again.
Nice.
And I was
nice.
lifting like 3 or 4 times a week when I
Right.
was at my prime.
And now you're saying, like, say you go lift.
Yeah.
Recuperation's just almost. I mean, it's that bad to recuperate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
The blood flow is so bad to your to all your muscles,
Right,
and
yeah.
like it's just impossible.
That's wild. Good for you.
Yeah.
See, and once you do make a breakthrough with the medication stuff, boy, you're going to be ready. I mean,
Oh,
I
I
just
can't
asked.
wait.
I just asked Alex his age. You know, he didn't mind. 29 years old. That's just so young in my world right now. And a lot of people. You know, it's funny because a lot of people at that age, 25, you ask them, come to the martial arts or come to. Oh, I'm too old at 25. I go, you're too old. Diapers were like 15 years ago. Come on, give me a break. You're too old. Yeah, you're a child, and now you got to embrace it because, like I say, if your medication kicks in and things change, you're gonna know what it's like to feel real good,
Right.
right? And you're gonna have that
Immediate
passion
feedback.
because you already have the passion. So after a hard game, what happens? You go home and soak in the tub or recuperate or aspirin.
Yeah.
Or,
Bath salt tub if
Yeah.
necessary. But I do a lot of massage therapy on the side, and it's really helped a lot. And
Right.
you might think like, oh, deep tissue like Swedish. No, that's the worst thing you can do. It's very careful, like delicate, and focusing on specific areas.
Okay.
And I found that a lot of it is hindering my ability based on my spine because of all that tension that's
Right.
around it. So I'll actually just lay on a foam roller for 10 minutes at a time
Right.
and just let my body like open up and relax. It's helped tremendously.
Have you, and I'm into this unbelievable. When I get into something, I get into it passionately. And now I'm into acupressure so much.
Yep.
My acupressure. And then I'm skeptical on anything until I do it. And my knee always bothers me from Taekwondo. I still go, and then it hurts. But, and I keep telling this on the show, you bend your elbow and you press right there. That pain in my knee, and this is the opposite elbow to the opposite knee, is gone in 30 seconds.
That's unbelievable.
Acupressure. It's not acupuncture. I ain't putting needles in me because I know if I did it myself, I'd bleed to death. But the acupressure, so now I'm studying it all over your hands. And so I don't know if you've ever done it, but you got to check it out because it'll relieve a lot of, and the Chinese been doing this for a million years.
I know the Eastern medicine.
Yeah.
They knew everything.
Well, and they've been practicing, and they practice on their practice, and they keep, working with different, it's just unbelievable. So, but there's no money in it for pharmacies and stuff, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know. Can't have my future wife going out of business.
And oh, geez, I didn't mean to say that.
No, I'm only kidding.
Now, how long have you had this? Your whole life?
I think so, but I didn't know
You don't
about
know
it until
when you're younger. You don't.
yeah. The reason that I found out was because scary thought, but I was falling asleep while driving a lot, and it would happen every day after work. So I had to like find a solution because it's just like life threatening at that point.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, oh, this is what old age must feel like in your
gee,
20s
at
because
29.
you're running out of energy
Yeah.
in the middle of the day.
Right.
I'm like, okay, this is normal, I guess.
Oh no. Maybe when you're in your 50s, 60s, and maybe 70s that might happen, but not at 29. You're at the peak right now, and I got a feeling now till 40 you can peak because our ages are dropping. When you're 60, you're really 40 now compared to back in the day. If you follow the way you should.
You have to stay
The
active.
things you take, and you got to stay active. But I didn't know that. That's good. And what did you call it? What do you have there?
The thyroid.
Yeah,
thing,
what-
Hashimoto's thyroiditis.
Wow.
It's just
That's a
it's
mouthful.
dysfunction where the pituitary gland
Right.
up here in your face like sends
Right.
hormone down to
Right.
activate your thyroid.
Right.
And my thyroid just lets it leaving in the bloodstream. It doesn't take it in at all.
Wow.
So I need a medication to help it absorb it and
Right.
utilize it. So it creates ATP molecules, the energy molecules
Yeah.
in your body, so that I have the energy to do
Right.
my bodily functions and
Right.
everything that I need.
Oh, good for you. You keep it going. And
Yeah.
you know what? Why do you say in 6 months there'll be another medication? I'm not getting that.
So yeah, so the medication now is getting to the point where I'm in the range in my blood that it's like healthy.
Okay.
Like you would have a typical person without it would have it.
Yeah.
But they said it could take up to 6 months to recover fully, so that it's fully vested in like all my
they're
blood
confident.
cells and my muscle cells and everything.
They're confident.
Yeah.
They're saying this is going to happen.
They're saying it, as long as you keep on taking it right
Yeah.
when you should, and I do, it should be without a doubt fully recovered in 6 months or so.
Excellent. Good. But they want you to keep active too. They want you to keep
Absolutely,
moving.
every doctor wants you to keep you
You
active,
have to.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it's non-negotiable.
Right. Yeah. But then not too active. So
Yeah,
now
within reason.
So now you're not practicing, training, or doing anything to keep your lung capacity in shape. That must be tough when you're running around like a maniac.
It is, and I wear the Whoop,
Yeah.
the tracker on my wrist, and it's saying how like I'm having 1,000+ kcals burned every session that I do for tennis, and how I'm in. I don't know if you know the zones.
I don't
of
at all.
cardio.
No.
Yeah, it's like regular like easy walking exercise or
Right.
jogging is like zone 2. I'm like 50% of the time, 75% of the time
You're off the
in zone
charts.
3 or more.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like 70% heart rate max
Right.
and above all the time.
All the time. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. And you couldn't tell just by looking at you.
Yeah,
You just-
I know. Well,
yeah.
putting on a little too much weight.
Well, no, you just, yeah.
Yeah, just not being able to stay active like I want to.
And yeah. And the thing is, when you can, now you know what you missed. You said, all right, this ain't going to happen
Yeah,
again.
you can get hungry again.
Yeah, you can get hungry again. And I said, at 29, boy, you're just starting. It's great.
yeah.
It's great. And so now you're still playing. You're calling it amateur tennis,
Yeah. There's a specific level for USTA. It's 3.5 league.
right?
So 3.5 essentially just means that you're pretty consistent and you
Right.
can get aggressive and you can aim most of your shots.
Right.
Maybe
okay.
not as consistently as some of the best players, obviously, but
Right.
like
yeah.
for instance, Roger Federer was a 7.0 in the
Right.
USTA rankings. So
Right.
I'm like roughly half of that.
So you're the same association that these guys are.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone ranked nationally, internationally has a USTA ranking of sorts. It's just you're playing in a certain league that has people with my ranking.
Right.
So like I'm playing against three fives.
But so you say Federer, he's professional,
Yes, he's a professional, and they rank him a 7.0.
but he's not amateur. You're not a
Right.
professional.
The amateurs and the pros are on the same scale.
Oh, okay.
We're just
yeah.
way lower on the scale than those guys are.
Never even heard of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's pretty. I mean, it's like if it was golf, it would be what your handicap is.
Yeah.
It's the same type of
Or
thing.
like if you're doing, I'm sure you guys have belts. Like if
Right.
you're a grandmaster
Okay.
with like all
Okay.
the most important belts, it would be a lower
Okay.
belt level.
Okay, all right. See, I had known nothing about tennis. All I remember is John McEnroe. Was it? No. Was he the one who always argued with the?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he
I
was
kind of
feisty.
like that. So
I loved it.
I gotta watch this guy. He argued about everything, and the poor referees and stuff that had to put up with his. And he'd go, "Look at the line," and he'd go off, and I go, "Wow, this guy's fun," you know.
You have that passion when you play.
Well, yeah, but now, so like, as I say, I know nothing about tennis, but isn't everything now electronic? Where the ball will buzz, or they still only want the ref?
Yeah, so in the professional play, yeah, they do have this sky view,
And it buzzes
and it essentially like is a camera that tracks the shadow of where the ball was,
Okay.
Compared to the line,
Yeah.
and it'll be like they don't use it for every play,
But if there's a
but,
controversy,
yeah.
okay.
They can call a challenge, and
It's
like hockey.
It only it's baseball.
Baseball, too.
They don't want to do it. Same with football. The sports don't want to do it, but you can't lose $1 million match or $1 billion match because the ref made a bad call.
Exactly.
He ruined your whole life, or an umpire. He called you safe when you're completely out, and before it's too bad. He made the mistake, and you lost the World Series.
Yeah.
You know, that's good. I do like the electronics, and now it's you against the player, not you and the ref against the player.
No BS.
Wow. So when's your next match? When's your next big one coming up?
That's coming on Tuesday, every Tuesday night. So I just had one last night, and
How'd you do last night?
we played really well.
Really?
Yeah. Me and my buddy Mitch, the captain,
Mitch, the
played
captain,
the
okay.
one doubles team for that line, because there's 3 doubles teams that play, and then 2 singles teams, 2 singles guys. Sorry.
Right.
So 8 guys in total, and we're the top 2 doubles team that was playing, and we won. If you're counting the score, it's 6-1, 6-2. So we played 2 sets and had to win both of them.
Right.
Like,
Love.
yeah, it was
6
like so
love.
fast.
What's love mean? I don't understand.
Love means 0. It's the only sport where love
6
means nothing.
That's beautiful. I thought love meant you were doing well in the court.
No,
right?
no.
Hey, I think he's in love with the. So 6 love and 7. And what does it go up to? How do they keep the scores?
So in the game itself,
Right.
when you're just playing it out,
Right.
it goes 15, 30, 40. It doesn't go to 45
That's
for
a
whatever
point?
reason.
That's a
yeah.
point?
The first point is 15.
Right.
And then the other team can get it 15. So it's 15 all, or 15-15.
Right.
And then you go up to 30 and then 40. And then if you both get to 40, it's called deuce. And deuce is when it's completely even. You've played 6 total points.
Right.
And you're on that specific side, the deuce court, which is like the righty server going that
Right,
way at the angle there. And then whoever wins that point gets the advantage. So you either say add in or add out, depending on who you are. So the server, if you lost the last point,
Yeah.
it's the advantage out. So it's like you could lose this game if you lose this point, because you have to win everything by 2 in tennis.
Wow. Boy.
But yeah, as for scoring after that,
Yeah.
it's either you go to a set of 6 or a set of 8, depending on what kind of league you're playing in.
Right. Yeah.
But for us, we're playing sets of 6, so
Yeah.
we won 6-1. Means we took 6 games, they took 1,
Right.
and then we won 6-2.
But it's confusing if you don't know
It is. It's
really
a lot
is.
for a new player
Wow.
to pick up. But
Or for anyone
once
who
you get
does-
used to it, it's easy.
Oh yeah, I would imagine after a couple of games you say, all right, I'm starting to get the score in.
Yeah.
But just go to 10, 1 to 10. All right, we got 1. You
Yeah,
go
exactly.
in. That's the story I'll tell right now. My brother-in-law, way out of shape. This is back 30-something, 40 years ago. God rest his soul. He died on us. But he's so out of shape and heavy guy. And I'm in top shape of my life. I was always working out, tournaments, road races. So he's sitting there one day and he goes, hey, Bob. And I don't know how he's going to keep the score. All he said was, we'll play to 21 and I'll give you 10 points, 10 strokes. And I'll bet you a case of beer or whatever we bet. I kick your butt. I looked at my life. You're going to give me 10 out of 21. I don't know how he was going
You're
to keep
thinking you're in this in shape guy.
Yeah, I says,
you're like, no problem.
I never picked up a racket in my life. And I says, you're not going to beat me if you're giving me 10. And this was for money or for beers or whatever it was. So we get out there, and I'm ready for him. He goes, you ready? I go, yeah, 10 points. Within 15, within 10 minutes, I was so exhausted. I couldn't even. He had me running around like I was a maniac, trying to catch the ball as he served. Even if I served, it seemed like no matter when I hit it, it was right back to him. I don't think he moved once. I think he stood in the middle and laughed. And I don't even think I finished the game. I says, "You win. Here's your case of beer, whatever." And it's like, wow. I thought it was going to be a big shot. I was going to make him run around. He never moved once. He just sat there and just made me run. And he laughed through the whole thing. And I said, "Wow, did I learn a lesson?"
Oh, yeah.
Do not think that you're going to walk into someone else's game. And he played his whole life, but not a lot. But he knew how to play the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I learned a major lesson. Someone's trying to snooker you. What he did was he got a case of beer out of me. I knew he was gonna, because I never picked up a racket in my life. And I played every freaking sport, all right? There was, except for tennis. I didn't own a racket. I never even had one.
The challenge is what I love most. It's such a different sport compared to, like, these racket sports are just way different. The technical skill, the type of coordination.
Right.
It's having an extension of yourself
Right.
attached to you, and like kind of like a hockey stick,
Right.
but at the same time, it's so much more forgiving.
Right.
When you have that long thing that, like, you're essentially trapping it against the ground, but
Right.
you're in a third dimension in the air.
Yeah.
With the ball and everything.
Yeah.
It's really
And so,
cool.
how do you practice it? If you do practice it, like against a wall, maybe practicing your backhander, or yeah.
A lot of people debate about, like, what's best to do, but really it's just getting out there and doing it
With your partner,
like
like
learning,
practicing with
yeah,
your partner.
muscle memory.
Right.
But if I could give one advice to anyone learning how to play tennis, it's just go in with intentionality.
Yeah.
Like they say, like, if you're playing golf, you want to talk about guys that can be really out of shape and play really well at
That's
a
right.
sport.
That's right.
Golf is a perfect example.
Yeah.
And they always say, keep your eye down after the shot is made. It's because they mean it. Like, if you don't make contact clean, you're never going to do well.
Okay.
So you got to, like, move your feet and make intentional contact
There's
every
a
time.
certain grip you have to have with your hand.
There's a few different grip alternations
yeah,
that you can go with,
Right.
but just keep it simple. Like, to start, for if you're going to do it,
Right.
just get the racket in your hand and just try.
Right.
And if you make some mistakes, it goes, like, really far up. You got the angle of the racket wrong. You need to, position
Right,
it
right,
more
yeah,
level
right,
to the court,
right.
perpendicular, whatever.
So you have expensive rackets. They're very expensive.
Yeah, I try and find deals like everyone. You know,
Right,
I got
yeah.
a Black Friday deal this past year, so
Okay,
I got
yeah.
2 for $300. So it was a good deal. But rackets can go for like $250 on their own nowadays.
Yeah.
Because they're all made of that special composite,
Right,
graphite material.
It's funny because with same like golf clubs, I see people making a bad shot and slam their racket on the ground.
What a
I'm going,
waste.
big money.
Seriously.
Same thing with golf clubs. I would never slam my golf club. I've seen some good golfers because they get upset that they got a beautiful driver. They slam that thing on the ground, and I'm like, boy, put a nice little bend in that now, and it's probably useless. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sports are fun, but don't let them. Don't.
It's not worth getting.
No. I mean, I still do. I play a lot of golf, and when I know my practice shots is great, and all of a sudden, I just went in the woods.
You
I'm
go a
like,
complete different shot.
what happened? You know?
Yeah.
So tennis is the same way. You have to keep your eye on the ball as it comes in, like baseball or anything. Keep your eye on the ball, and as you're hitting, you're looking at the ball.
Yep.
All right, so you're not looking at the person. See, that's what I would be doing. I'd be looking at the person and then miss the ball completely, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know, like, it's mostly your legs. Tennis is mostly legs. You don't, like, that's why you just need to focus on making contact.
Right.
And you're trying to, like, charge through the ball every time that you hit it.
Okay.
Like, if you're at the net and you see those beautiful, like, punch shots
Right,
that go
yeah.
like super sharp into the court,
Right.
they're not focusing on swinging their arm really hard. They're focusing on keeping their elbow tight,
Right.
getting the racket at the right angle, and
Yeah.
then running through it.
Wow.
That's the key. Is like, if you have your feet set
Yeah.
in the right position,
Right.
you almost can never make a bad shot.
And it's balance, all balance.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is there a hip jog that you guys? Are you snapping your hip as you hitting
Yeah,
the ball?
it's believe it or not, it's mostly just focusing on staying loose at the limbs,
Okay.
and just like letting your shoulder, elbow, and wrist like relax, and then rotating through it, like getting all your obliques and stuff going.
Right, right.
Your core just snapping.
Right.
And then rotating at the hips. It's like you just, like I said, charge through it.
Right.
Rotate.
Right, because that's what I tell, especially on my Taekwondo shows. All sports in their own way have a basic a comparison where they're all the same. And a lot of sports is as you're hitting or as you're batting, your hip is giving you that power. You're generating from your core, you're generating all the power instead of just you're only your hand.
Yeah.
So as you say, it's your hips swinging and everything in unison, and you get used to that. You do get used to it. Like when you first start tennis, I would imagine it's all hands. Same thing with bat. When you
you're poking at it.
Yeah.
You're just dinking it left and right.
Yeah,
and
I'm
I'm sure you couldn't aim well with it because you're just like,
bing,
well, this feels so unnatural. Like, how do
Yeah.
people do this?
Yeah. So you as you say, it's an extension of your arm.
Yeah.
Same with golf. Same thing with baseball.
Baseball, hockey,
anything you have, it's an extension of your arm. So if you can move your arm in that position or in that direction, make sure the racket or whatever tool you use.
Make sure your body follows it.
And so, were you doing any of this while you were doing your karate?
No, so karate was very early on, but I'm very thankful that I did karate.
Of course,
because
what
it wasn't exactly like my idea. My dad just thought it would be a good thing to try.
Right.
But wow, does the martial arts develop your core like nothing else?
Right.
And I had it like in middle school for tryouts for soccer. Oh. They did that drill where they take the ball and they launch it into your abdomen.
Yeah.
And like you're supposed to run through it.
Right.
And everyone's over here choking and everything. They're like, Lewis, how did you just do that without like gasping for air? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like,
training.
Holy crap.
Well, it's funny because when you're doing the kicks, when you're doing all kinds of martial arts, and even the hand technique, as you're doing your kicks and your stretches and everything, you're tightening your muscles. It's almost like you're doing constant crunches and sit-ups.
Yeah.
Because the minute you pick up, the same thing with tennis, right? When you do that, everything tightens in your core, and that's your muscles in your stomach. So you're constantly doing that. It's like doing sit-ups and crunches, and they get tight. So they throwing balls at your stomach?
Yeah, they would take that soccer ball and launch it at your abdomen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they still?
It was to toughen you up. It
I don't
was
think
like
they
the
do that
equivalent
anymore.
of hitting you in football.
Do they still do that?
They might. I mean, they might not do it as much anymore because I feel like there's
Child
a lot
abuse.
of like parent stuff going on there.
Oh yeah. Because I remember my son in football, Pop Warner, and there was some coaches, and there was, they all volunteered. God bless them. There was some way too passionate.
Yeah.
For little kids.
You don't want to ruin it for the kids.
You don't want to hurt them.
Yeah, that too.
And you don't want, and that'll toughen them up. No, you're hurting them. We can toughen them up and there's a whole debate on that.
Right.
They call today's generation sissified, which I don't believe. I think we're just more cautious that people aren't going to get hurt.
Yeah, we're not causing concussions that are going to ruin someone's life later on.
Yeah, that'll toughen you up.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna
that'll toughen you up real quick. Yeah,
yeah. So you did the karate and you were doing soccer.
Yep. Soccer all my life growing up.
And so karate and soccer, you were in great shape.
Oh yeah.
Now, this thing with your thyroid, that wasn't bothering you, or you didn't notice it was bothering, or you just assumed
maybe it onset late. I don't know.
Oh,
I
so that
started
can
feeling it at 22 or whatever, but
so it can happen.
It runs in my family. I didn't know at the time that it did, but it's the one that I have is supposed to make you gain weight. So I should have been like the prototypical like fat kid growing up, but for whatever reason my metabolism was working through it, so it was kind of hard to detect anyway.
Right. That's kind of tough because, especially if you all of a sudden you catch it when you're in your 20s, you're like, all right, what's going on? I'm not in good shape, because you're not assuming that you're there's a problem.
Yeah.
You think everything's working. I've done everything I can to make it work. How's your diet? What do you got for a diet? A good diet?
Yeah, I mean, I just focus on making sure there's enough meat on the plate to get through and not like be hungry for like a plate full of carbs,
Right.
I feel like that's the one that really gets you, keeps your glucose levels like really high in your blood and whatnot. But
so you've done a lot of homework on what's going to keep you healthy.
Yeah, I've tried. I'm no expert, and I'm just a
no, but
you know what
feels good. You experiment with your body, and you go, oh, this is really work.
Well, just for the coffee alone, I've been. I only started drinking coffee like 2 or 3 years ago, but I slowly got rid of the sugar, and then I got rid of the milk, just this past like within the last 6 months. And what an unbelievable change the milk was! Like taking the milk out of your diet.
No, it's not good.
It's
not good. I loved milk.
But like it makes you feel crazy good.
It's not good for you. But you know what to do if you have only black coffee? Throw a little honey in it, and honey is so good for you.
I bet that's really good.
Yeah, throw a little honey in it, and you're going to be whoa. Because I've been drinking coffee, and this is God honest truth. probably since I was 2 years old. My aunt used to spoon feed me coffee with a little sugar in it. I'm addicted by the time I'm going into first grade. And I'm telling you, the amount
That's
of
not a good combination.
because I was always hyper anyway. Maybe
Right.
that only made it worse. So in a Catholic school, so send me to Catholic school with 3 or 4 cups of coffee because now I'm addicted by the time I'm 6 years old. Man, I fast. I would fly,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I couldn't concentrate. I had, today they'd call it ADHD or they'd call it something, which I know I had, or OC. I don't know what they want to call it. Then they call it, you're a dreamer. That Robert's such a dreamer. That's what they would say to me. Only because I had 12 friggin' coffees going in me,
Right.
But the honey, I got rid of the sugar recently and started doing honey. And wow.
How do you keep it from all falling to the bottom? Is
Just-
there a way
just-
to mix it in?
No, you just stir it up.
It's got to
Yeah.
be warm, I'm assuming?
No, I'm just using regular raw honey.
Okay.
Regular raw honey, and you can get that anywhere. Put in as much as you might like, and just mix it up, and you drink the coffee. The heat from the coffee, to me,
Kind of mixes it.
because it's not at the bottom. Now, if it was a cold drink, maybe it would go to the bottom, and but you might like that if you like the coffee.
I'll definitely give it a try.
I started getting into the liquid IV. It's a little packet
Yeah.
for electrolytes because all the working out and everything I do. Oh my God! And I'm really going to push it to a lot of people. It's a little packet. You put 1 packet in your bottle of water or anything you want, and wow, you feel good.
Yeah, you do.
The because people say, "Oh, I'm drinking a lot of
How
water."
does your throat feel though? Because I've had it in a situation where maybe I had too much of it all at once, but it left my throat feeling kind of like
No, nothing.
yeah.
No. You're just doing a little packets?
Yeah, just the normal like liquid IV packet
Right.
and dump it. I
In
even dumped
water.
it into a giant like half-gallon water.
Right.
So it's spread out pretty
Right,
well.
spread out, yeah.
But-
I do it in 2 bottles of water.
Okay.
And so it's just, it's really diluted, but I recommend that. Because, in my whole life, drink water, a gallon of water. But you should be having electrolytes because you're flushing all that out, right?
Right.
You're flushing all your electrolytes and a lot of your vitamins. It's going right through if you're only drinking water. So you really want to get the electrolytes back into it with your vitamins. You doing vitamins?
Yeah, I do magnesium to sleep at night.
Right.
And that's good because it prevents cramping and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
typical with sports.
That's right, yep.
And then I'll do the occasional like liquid IV or whatever, but
No multiple vitamin?
I was doing that like the one that was really strong that made your urine turn different
Right,
color and everything. Yeah.
That's your vitamin B's inside the
Yeah. All the B12s, B6, all of that is really good for you.
Right.
Fish oil, definitely omega
Right.
3s, really
Right.
important. But I've kind of fallen off the wagon with the supplements lately. I need to get back into
Right.
it.
I take one and throw it in a V8 drink, the tomato
go.
V8 drink, and I'll throw it in there and let it dissolve most of the morning, and then I'll drink it at my breakfast. It's all dissolved. So the vitamins are dissolved in the V8, which has more vitamins.
That's great.
Yeah. As I say, OCD, obsessive compulsive, in everything I do. And my wife goes, you can take too much, And she's right.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, yeah. Calcium,
But
magnesium.
You'll
and-
just get rid of it like when you're going to the bathroom. Or
No,
whatever.
a lot of times you don't, especially
Really?
with certain vitamins will stay in your liver.
Oh.
You got to know which ones. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, like too much E, too much D, and there's certain times you're supposed to take it. They're supposed to be. So there's a lot of homework to do. A lot of people just drop and I don't want to. I'm not going to name, vitamins, but they'll drop a vitamin that stays in the stomach and goes right through the stomach, and then they get rid of it, and half of it dissolved. There's a lot of vitamins like that. You want to find a natural vitamin that will dissolve very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not all of them advertised on Amazon are equal. Like a lot of them
No.
are made with different stuff.
That's
and
right. Yeah, you got to do
You
your
can't
homework.
trust them as
you
much.
can't. No, you can't trust that. And a lot of times, maybe you talk to your doctor or do your homework. Lots of homework, and then like what you're doing, you try it. If it don't work, try something else.
Yeah.
Then when you
Listen
find
to your
that,
body.
that's right. Yeah, especially when you're athletic.
Yeah.
And you want to keep going and going. Are you still playing soccer?
I haven't in a very long time now.
Yeah, that's pretty tough with what you have.
Yeah.
And that's really rugged. That's hurting.
Yeah, but you can fight through anything. I mean, I was
I know.
fighting through for 6 years plus.
And it's
with this
probably good.
condition.
It was good for you, right?
Yeah.
that you were fighting through.
Exactly. You can't just quit and say like, oh, well, I got this bad thing.
Now it's over.
You know, I'm one of the unlucky ones. We'll let the others do it.
You can't. Well, you know you especially now with the phone and stuff, and you look at all these athletes who disabled, and wow, what they're doing with their body, some with no legs, and they're just unbelievable. You couldn't do it, and you have all your limbs and everything, and you look at these guys going, wow, they didn't give up. They could have just sat, or they just could have said, I'm done, you know. So you're working at L3 Harris.
Yep.
How long you been there now?
3 years. 3 years last week.
Jeez, that's good. Hey, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
What a nice little company, is it, up in Londonderry?
I know. Time off is such a great benefit. But yeah, the people there working there, like, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we were talking at the water cooler, the prototypical conversation there.
Oh, yeah. My thing is, I'm in facilities, so I bounce around so much and meet everyone. I can't remember anyone. You know what I'm saying? Everyone just starts blending in with me, and then people are gone, and they come in, and, you know, there's hundreds and hundreds, and it's like...
It's not a mom and pop shop.
It ain't. No, it's not a little more.
We're doing big work over there.
Yeah. Well, at L3, if anyone don't know, we do the night vision.
Yep.
The goggles. We do. Geez, we do about everything. But and so, what are you doing at there? What are you doing up at?
I'm a supply chain planner.
Supply chain planner. Okay. And
yeah. So I'm getting all the material in that we need, making sure that the line keeps running so that we can keep defending our country.
Right. Right. And that's from other vendors. A lot of the supplies you're getting.
Oh yeah. There's got to be at least 100 suppliers.
Yeah.
It's various ones that you see across like thousands of parts.
Right.
But yeah.
And that's the tough thing, because if one of them drops the ball, you go behind. Yeah. Right. So that's a lot of pressure on your part that makes sure no one's dropping the ball. Now, on each vendor, do you have a secondary vendor in case they drop the ball?
That's the ideal. That's what they would want me to say. Is yes, we do.
Yeah, because now you
can't always be the case though. Sometimes we don't have a backup plan, and we have to work around that.
No, because say you have a vendor who's they're all important.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden their whole plant caught on fire and is down to the ground. Now do we just stop production?
Yeah, right.
Don't say yeah.
We don't have a choice. we have to find a solution, and that's what my job really is most days, is firefighting those problems that we know can come, because maybe a supplier is just not for anything bad. They're the best at making what we need, and there's no one like them.
Right.
Like, they're unique in that aspect, and they're worth the money. But if you can't qualify a different vendor, that's not necessarily that we're not trying to.
You have to qualify.
It just means that those other ones need to step up. We need to get different equipment or engineers in place to make it happen.
Right. Because I deal a lot with your incoming inspection, and you must too. You have to. And wow,
those guys are great though. They're
so good.
How willing they are to like go on the fly and do everything we need them to.
Yep. Incoming inspection, and all of a sudden, this whole lot's rejected. Wow. That's sort of precious.
Big money.
The pressure must be unbelievable, even on you.
Well,
right?
You just got to take it day by day.
No, I know, but it's a lot of pressure.
It can be.
You're controlling the lines, and the lines might stop, and we're talking big money each day.
Yeah, the metric that I'm using all the time is $500,000 every day for one single part that stops us. So that's big time. I try and put it in perspective for everybody that I talk to, and just say, like, I don't care if we're like, it's only saying we're going to be down for one day. That's like 5 people's paychecks that you're saying don't matter.
Oh.
And that's why you got to put it in perspective like that, because when like layoffs happen, because they happen to everybody.
Oh, no.
No one's safe at a corporation.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I worked for Wang. I don't know if you remember what Wang is. You know Wang? You ever heard of Wang?
I don't think I have.
You're 29 years old. When I was 29 and you weren't even around, I was working for Wang. And we were going to be bigger than IBM, Apple. We were going to be the biggest computer company in the world. And right out of Lowell, 35,000 people around in the Merrimack Valley were working. We were on fire. All right. And my wife worked. I worked there 15 years. I worked in the making the circuit boards, which was, that's tough, because they were infant. Everything was infant. No one really, was an infant business.
New technology.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it doubled every year, the technology, which it still does.
Right.
And they went from empire to collapsing in 2 years. In 2 years, they imploded.
Wow. Do you know why?
People say, well, Dr. Wang died, but they want to blame everybody else. But they weren't keeping up with the software. Well, the software wasn't as important as it really was.
So like research and development wasn't.
I have no idea. Yeah,
Something
and then
like
and then I just left and started a couple of my own little things at Taekwondo school and whatever. I had to leave because they were laying off anyway, and they just imploded. And it could happen to anybody. So, but I mean, when a decision you guys like you make can stop $500,000 coming in a day, or whatever, that's scary.
Yeah, you feel that responsibility because it was publicly said that we had to let go of certain people this past year because of the financial implications of needing to stay ahead of our competitors and just making sure that we can do right by the armed forces that we are providing protection to.
Right. Yeah.
But you feel that responsibility and you try and communicate the best you can because, we're dealing with human beings with emotions and a lot of times things can get heated in those conversations.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to bring it back to, guys, we're the same team.
Right.
Let's try and keep it on course because people's lives are literally dependent upon this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we are known for one of the best night visions in the goggles in the world.
Yeah. The technology in it is insane. Especially advanced goggles. Like you talk about the pinpoint accuracy from a UAV drone giving you a ping on location. And these guys have their scopes with Bluetooth attached to their goggles and they can stand behind cover and still be in the fight.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I wouldn't want to fight against anybody that has that technology.
No, I don't want to fight anyone in general, but
I
that's probably why I got out of martial arts, to be honest.
Yeah, Jesus, that's funny. And what do you're getting a degree? When's your degree? What's going on with that?
I'm trying to transition to project management. I'm getting my degree. I'm going to be graduating in September, right before the wedding.
Congrats! Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm a busy guy. Wedding planning, got the job, and then full-time school outside of it.
Wow, that's your brain just races.
I know. You can't stop.
No, that's why I take a magnesium to sleep at night.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to take melatonin, 3 milligrams of melatonin. That just makes me relax. And they say that's enough just for a little kid. So it's
just to get to sleep.
Just anything to get to sleep, especially when you're wired and you're high strung. Yeah, you seem to be the same mode as how much coffee you drinking there?
This is my first cup, so this is not too bad.
That ain't too bad at all.
It's I think if you measure is 200 something milligrams a day.
Yeah, that's nothing. I would have 2 or 3 in the morning before work, and then on my ride home I'd have another one, say about 3:30.
Yeah,
I can't sleep at night. And then I'm reading up on them, and they're like, "Yeah, that'll stay in your system for 7-8 hours, and you can't sleep anyway." So I had to kind of stop the coffee in the afternoon and stuff. But the stuff you can throw in your coffee, like my wife's into the collagen now. It's so good for you. It's
supposed to be really good for you.
Yeah. So now she got me hooked on that.
I can't remember the benefit of it though. What does it do?
It's just I kind of read. I just started this I think a week ago, and I says, "What's it good for?" She goes, "Everything."
Everything.
Yeah. It's good for your brain. It's good for your skin. It's good for your skin. Good for your eyes, and your whole body's made up of a collagen and stuff. And I just said, "I'll do my research later," but I do take it.
Yeah.
You
trust the wife. You have to trust the wife.
My wife, I swear she could have been. She's had a medical problem for 30-something years right after she had my daughter. And she's done her own homework. She's a Reiki healer as it is. But she's done her own homework, and I swear she could have a doctor's degree. So anything she says about putting in your body because of her digestive system, I just do it. But I overdo it. You know what I'm saying? She goes, "Bob, just because I need it doesn't mean you need it." I go, "No, if you're benefited, I want to benefit, Yeah. So I like doing homework on health and stuff. And I imagine you do too. I can tell.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when I met you the other day. And we must have just met on the hallways over the years and stuff. And I say hi. And you said you've been here for 3 years. And I'm like, well. But I could tell, as I talking to someone right off the bat, I could tell you were into sports and you had a swagger about the martial arts too. It's in your body. Anyone who does the martial arts or wrestles or boxes, there's a certain thing that I can tell. I've been doing it for 50 years, and I'm like, all right, I'm talking to this guy right here. And the minute you said tennis, and you're still doing your competition
stuff,
yeah, I like that. You should try to get something going at L3, a tennis league or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you ain't get that time.
But I
you
mean,
know, how much time in a
outside
day?
of the wedding planning and all that, yeah.
And then already doing
the schoolwork.
Yeah. Well, so you're planning a wedding, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be in New York.
Wow, New York.
Yeah. Her family is from New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in New York?
Near the Syracuse area. They
Okay.
have about 9,000 acres for a farm, and they do unbelievable work.
Nice.
I'm so impressed, and that whole family is so beautiful, so nice.
That is so cool.
It's such a
Wow.
great family, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
join it.
Yellowstone. You're jumping into Yellowstone.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a lot of acreage.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right there.
Yeah, it is.
They got horses and cattle and all that. Or?
They don't, but they might have cattle soon. The youngest sister of my fiance is trying to get some.
Cool. That's just
Yeah.
yeah. There's nothing like that. And you're jumping into that family.
I know. Here I am, like the least farm boy that there ever was, and trying to oh yeah, I can lift pay. I think. Like, how heavy is it again?
Yeah, it ain't that hot.
Yeah.
And then you start sneezing and you start breaking out with hives going,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute, I'm allergic to this stuff.
Like, oh, you can't be out in the sun more than a half hour. Gotcha. All right.
Does that bother you, the sun? Yeah. Thyroid?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just, like it's
Yeah,
tough.
but you're dark
Not
skinned,
the no, I'm not dark.
No?
No, I'm very pale. I get red like a lobster whenever I'm out for more than an hour or two in the middle of the day.
Lewis, English. That's English?
It's Scottish, Irish.
Right,
Yeah.
there you
We
go.
actually, when we came from Scotland, that family
Right.
came from Scotland. The original name was Luars,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, it transitioned to Lewis when we came to the States.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Make it cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. Even when we started talking, I says, you got a good name for a TV show or It's the Alex Lewis Show, starring Alex Lewis.
Yeah, it's just one of those common names. It's like Smith.
Lewis,
Like,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. That's well. See, now it's funny because how I said English, right? Because you kind of know, and in Scottish, that's the pale blood,
Yeah.
or the pale skin, yeah. But you're really not pale like a lot of Scottish is real pale.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and English.
Well, I got
Irish.
the redhead cousins and all
Oh
that.
yeah. You actually look like you got a little Italian in you, but I'm not going to go there. You know what I'm saying?
What the parents do, the parents do. Won't get into that.
It's funny because my daughter did a DNA thing once. I said, "Don't do that, Mel. I want to know." My daughter's a diabetic. Jesus, there's 8 trillion nationalities. They said that she was in. I'm like,
Wow.
are you kidding me? But that's down the road. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's
I think, it might be the French. I think I have a little French in me.
There you go. That'll
Yeah.
give you a little darkness.
Yeah.
Because I get the French in me. I got a lot of French in me, but then a little Irish too. And so maybe I don't know, but yeah. So that it's funny because the karate, the soccer, the tennis, it all there's a mesh there. And I say, what else do you play in cornhole? I love cornhole.
Cornhole,
Isn't that fun?
football in the yard.
Football,
the
yeah.
typical, I play a lot of golf now because of my dad and brother and
There you
my
go.
friends. They all
all right,
play.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm horrible. Like
Listen.
score over 100 every time.
Listen, everyone's horrible at golf. Even the professionals get horrible as they get old. Just have fun.
It's such a difficult sport.
It is a difficult, and it's I've golfed. I think I've golfed 45, 50 years now. I really did. I've been golfing my whole life, and I'm still terrible. But you get a good shot once in a while.
Yeah.
My wife's into it. Her sister and my brother-in-law are into it. We're out all the time laughing, and if you think you're good, it'll humble you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're good, huh? All of a sudden,
Just like
flash.
picking up that racket the first time.
Oh, yeah.
You pick up a golf club, it's even worse.
It'll humble you. And the only thing is practice, and you practice.
Yeah.
You practice around the green. You do a lot of putting. Do a lot of practice in the nets. Using your drive. It's like anything else. I mean, you won't be a professional, but you'll be able to play the game. And especially now, you're 29 and you got a whole future ahead of you at L3 or wherever you go. It's so good because as you get clients or people that you have to deal with, come on, we'll go out, and that's how you make the deal.
Make a business, yeah.
That's a business thing. Oh, yeah. And
that's what I like about tennis, too. You can play it right into your old age. Doesn't matter what you're dealing with. There's always a variation you can do.
Yeah. And if you're not worried, thinking that, I'm not going to be a pro. Oh, you're not going to be a pro.
Yeah.
You're going to have fun, and you're going to stay in shape, and you're going to meet the nicest people who are in the same. I mean, you have everything in common.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is doing like tennis charity events because there's just you can create such fun dynamic game types, but you do it for great people like the Navy SEALs. We did a fundraising event for them recently at Cedardale. It's just there's nothing more rewarding than having fun for the sake of other people's benefit.
And the people you meet, the celebrities sometimes you meet, it's like, wow. And like I say, you got it all in common. You have them in common. And as you're going up the chain where you work, and there's hey, Alex plays golf. Yeah, come on, Alex. Now all of a sudden,
now you're networking.
Oh, you are
like
networking. Yeah. And I mean, tennis not as much, but there's a lot of golfers out there.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people pick it up in an older age because they say, "We're gonna have some fun."
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. And then what I like to play is a scramble, and a scramble is it's 2 or 4 people shoot, and the one who shot the best shot. All right, you all walk there and shoot another one, and now you're playing against other teams.
Yeah.
But the fun, so you don't have to worry about your shot. You try to kill.
You're just like, he'll get me next time. No big deal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and putting, and everyone joins in.
Yeah.
So it's if you ding and dong, you win. Well, it's the same with your tennis. You have to ding and dong with your partner. Doubles, right?
Yeah.
Because he might be hot and you're not. Now, I don't know how that works. If there's doubles, say he just wants to keep hitting the ball, can he cut you off? Or if they hit it in your...
The whole court is yours to share with your partner. You can do whatever you want. You could have one guy standing off to the side, and that one guy is running around the entire way. But there's quite a few teams, especially in the lower ranks, like where I'm playing or a little bit below.
Right.
They'll have one tall guy who like specializes at the net or like has a gigantic serve.
Right, yeah.
But the other guy will be like a speed demon, like really good at ground strokes.
Now, how about yourself, you and your partner?
So my partner and I have...
I don't want to give anything away to
you. Not to give away the strategy to win big time, but my partner and I are fairly equal, but he specializes a lot with consistency, so getting the ball back. But if there's a really difficult and hard to get to shot, I'm like the guy with the speed that gets to it and has like the touch. The touch shots.
So you guys know that, and that's your strategy.
Yeah. And we have different strategies for like, you're serving better today. I want you to serve first, and we'll play a specific side that we are best at.
Right, yeah.
So I'm always on the left side. He's on the right because my backhand has always been a little bit better, but he's starting to get better too. So we could probably make that switch.
Now I watch and I go, how come they're not colliding? How come they're not crashing into each other?
It's chemistry.
Yeah,
it's all chemistry.
It's knowing the game. Because if I was out there with you,
your assignment.
You'd knock me out, or I'd knock you out.
It's like playing a football position. Like your assignment on that play, and whenever the ball goes to a certain spot, he knows like I got it, and then I switch to the other side, so he covers that side of the court. And then if he makes a great shot, he comes in. If we know it's lobbing, we know which one of us is going back to get it because of the angle of the shot.
When you play in these amateur games, is there's a ref? Obviously, is there a ref?
No, there's no ref. Yeah, you gotta have the honor system. You gotta.
Wow, that's gotta be tough.
At the national ranking that you were talking about before the show, if you go to nationals, they will have umpires.
Yeah.
So it does come eventually, but you got to get to that like high level of play for that ranking.
You must have stories and someone saying, "No, that was this," and the same guy doing the same one. That was over the line. No, I don't think it was. And then you got to look to see if the lines are chalk or whatever is it.
There's no chalk for the most part, unless you're playing on clay court, which we do have at Cedardale. Yeah. You can see the ball mark on the clay, so that's really convenient.
No, that's an old ball mark.
Oh yeah. I've heard that. Trust me.
I'm already getting ready.
No, first serve of the match, I have this unbelievable, beautiful shot right to the corner, and they're like, "Out." I'm like, "Look at it,"
and
they're like, "What?" You can call that?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
it's physical proof right there.
John McEnroe.
Oh yeah, I was pulling a John McEnroe.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But hey, I was right.
No, oh yeah, but that could get heated. I mean,
It
especially
did.
when it comes down to the final, you're tied all the way to the end, and oh my God, I would think you need a ref all the time or an umpire all the time.
You wouldn't believe it, but a lot of these leagues that we're playing in, there are guys that are like 30 plus for the most part.
Yeah.
They don't want to put up a fight like that. They want to just come in and get their exercise and play
Okay,
competitive.
yeah.
They're actually really good to work with. Tennis guys in general are really
Right.
level-headed for the most part.
I would imagine, but there's always that. You roll your eyes.
Always the young buck like me trying to make a point, make a statement.
And then you're going to play them. You're going, oh, we're going to play Fred and Jimmy. Oh no,
We literally have those guys.
Of course you do.
There's a couple in the league I won't name, but
No, that's just funny. That's funny. Well, that's in every sport. If you're in a golf league and like, oh, I'm playing Fred again tonight. Oh, gee. And it's going to be horrible because it's just the attitude.
right.
But you want to be the guy that they say, oh, he's so much fun to play with. Yeah. Now you're having fun.
Yeah.
And there's an energy, especially you and your partner. There's an energy you give each other. People don't understand that. How you're not just there on your own, especially when you're doubles. You give him an energy, he gives you an energy, and that's why you're great together.
Yeah, we have a thing. My partner and I, Mitch, and we do emotion management on the court. Where like Mitch is like one of those types. He's really gritty and gets everything back. But when he's having a tough game, I'll like make sure I'm getting him hyped up. Like we'll yell in the middle of a point, or like if he makes a great play, we'll like fist bump, like, and he like thrives off of that energy.
That's great, and you just gave
you have
it
to know that.
Yeah, it can exhaust you if you're the only one ever giving energy.
Right.
But if you're giving it and taking it, and a lot of people don't believe in that, and I do believe in it, that even now, you and me, say you and me are talking right now.
Yeah, we're flowing right now.
You're flowing. I'm giving you some energy. You're giving me it right back. So but if all of a sudden it was one way, exhaustion.
Yeah, you can feel it.
You give everything away.
Load.
Yeah. That's why parents are so tied with their children, because they're constantly giving the energy and the kids are absorbing it. That's how you want it to be.
Mitch was just making a comment about that last night because he just had his first son, Bryson, and he's like, you just keep loving him, but like,
and they're
it's exhausting.
Absorbing it, right?
So exhausting.
Yeah. But you wouldn't do it any other way. You would have no other way.
Oh yeah.
And if all of a sudden you weren't giving them the energy, they'll start crying. They want mommy and daddy's energy. Yeah. Like I've got my grandkids, and the 1.5 is over at my house right now, and he sees us and he lightens up because we're giving him energy. My wife's running around that house right now for like 7-8 hours to keep him happy, and he knows it.
Oh yeah.
And then she just crashes, or when it's nap time, she'll
wait for you to get back and be like, your turn.
I don't have that type of energy anymore. I really don't. I just die. I can't.
I don't have that energy. I don't know how you do.
No. Yeah. I could run in marathons, but I can't be with a kid for like 10 minutes because they just suck it right out of you.
Yeah. It's because it's not consistent. They like those spikes.
That's right.
Of energy.
All of my 7-year-old grandson, he calls me Pep. Pep, let's go. Pep, let's go. And I'm like, all right. Wait. You got to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Hey, that's about it there, buddy. That was an hour.
All right.
Alex, we're going to get you back on the show again. You got to go have a wedding. You've got to...
got to finish school. I'm going to do homework right now.
You're going to go to homework now?
Yeah, I'm going to homework, to do homework at home, and then I'm going to call some videographers and some vendors for the wedding. Yeah.
You're keeping busy.
Yeah, you have
to. Good for you. Good for you. And we will get you back on the show. And I hope you enjoyed the show today. I want to thank Alex Lewis again. If you want to watch the show, it's going to be on YouTube. Just Google Taekwondo Grandmaster Bob Lemire, YouTube. You'll have podcast and my Taekwondo shows. Also, it's on all podcast stations, Spotify, etc. Merrimack Valley Public Radio. It's on that radio station. Also, DrakeItTV.org on Comcast stations. So it's easy to find this show, and I hope you enjoyed it. Alex, once again, thank you, and we'll have you on again. Definitely, and see how your wedding went and your schooling, and and in your future tournament matches in
Of course, we're gonna make nationals. I got to talk to it.
oh, that's once you make nationals, we're going there. We're gonna talk
Absolutely.
about that. No money involved. Nope. It's
Never know. Endorsements, sponsorships.
Oh, you can do that.
No, I don't know.
to stay amateur, you can do that these days, can't you?
Maybe. I mean, if you're good enough.
All right, you got to do some homework.
I gotta. Gotta pay for this wedding.
There you go. Thanks a lot. Hope you all enjoy it. Till next time, train hard and have fun.